Recording in progress.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Saminiti Namine Sarasate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Params Paribrajak Acharya Stotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Discount founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shamaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glory to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Hari Bol. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Mutare Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta. Somebody else did. Anyway, I don't know. What's that? We're gonna do it.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Hare
Makan bro.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Radha Subhasadi Gaur Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. It's so nice to see you, all of them, after a long break. And thanks to your prayers and blessings, by all your prayers, my mother is doing much better than what she was. Thank you very much. And also thank you for each one of you for taking care of this satsang so nicely. I heard a lot of glories about this, about Ramnavami festival, a big festival. So, and each and every week taking care of this center nicely. Thank you very much. So today we have, you all see, we have our special guest, very special guest. So he's also back from India very recently. You all know him very well, but I would like to talk a little more about him. Prabhuji, please. No, I would like to do that because there are a lot of online devotees, so they would like to know more about you. And it's my pleasure to talk about you. So, please. So let's all welcome by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol to His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So many of you already know him, and online there are some new devotees, so I would like to talk about him. This is my good fortune to glorify him. I guess Vishnugada Prabhu is one of the senior most disciples of his founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and has been in Krishna conscious movement for the past 50 plus years, half century. Hari Bol. So he was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in the year 1971, which was the early stages of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON movement. He was in his youth at the time. During Srila Prabhupada's presence, his main services were cooking at New York Temple, 55th Street, which at that time was a very big temple. He then served for more than a decade as temple president at ISKCON Tobacco Temple, where he managed everything including cooking, aarti, kirtan, etc., and managed it through several challenges. He used to organize annual Gita Nagari Kids Camp for many years. Even this year we have Kids Camp. Prabhu, what are the dates, Prabhu?
July 12th to 18th.
July 12th to 18th. So I've shared the details on our WhatsApp group. So if any of your kids who are interested, please enroll. There are very limited seats now. I guess 6 seats are open, right, Prabhu?
Not even.
Not even 6? Wow, how many then?
3.
3, okay, last 3. So please enroll yourself, your kids, if you are interested. This is a very, very nice event. Kids tend to learn a lot about...
You're going too.
Yeah, I'm going to. Elder kid. So nice, wonderful event. Kids get to learn a lot in these 6 days. And then wonderful prasadam. It's at Gita Nagari. You all know Gita Nagari, right? Yeah, it's in Gita Nagari.
Under 10 years, not eligible.
That's 10 till 17.
Yeah, 10 to 17, yes. So by which many kids got inspired to follow Krishna conscious practices in their life. In recent years, he started Kids Camp again, which was a very great success. Professionally, he is a psychologist with a tight schedule for more than 2 decades. He managed to serve very diligently at ISKCON Philadelphia in various services such as festivals, Sunday feast cooking, as Rath Yatra chairman. I would like to highlight this Rath Yatra every time when I speak about him, because there was a long gap between 1975 and 2006. There was no Rath Yatra in ISKCON Philadelphia. So he is the main pillar and the planner behind Rath Yatra restarting in the year 2006. And it has been growing like anything from that time. So now almost like 7,000 people come to this festival, and they cook for 5,000 people, 5,000. So it's a great event, and it happens always on 4th Saturday of September. Okay. So then, as Rath Yatra chairman, he was Rath Yatra chairman for many, many years, and he was a kirtan leader and eloquent preacher of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. He also served as ISKCON Philly's board for several years and as a Sunday school teacher for a long time. So let's again welcome His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu with chanting 3 times Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
So also I would like to thank, there are some newcomers for the first time, Parikra family, thank you very much for coming. And some devotees from the temple also. Thank you very much. Let's chant 1 time Haribol to them.
Haribol, Haribol.
Thank you very much. So let's hear Srimad Bhagavatam from His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu. So there will be question and answer session at the end, and kids sloka recitation. After that, there will be prasadam. Thank you.
He didn't. Okay. Hare Krishna. Mukta Sangha Prabhu didn't say that he was there from the beginning of the Rath Yatra, and he was instrumental in developing the Rath Yatra, so we worked together quite dynamically. So anyway, he was being a little humble, which is okay. So we chant Jai Radha Madhava, or we don't do that?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah? Okay. We have any, okay, good, thank you. And how do I read the verse?
Yeah, I have cell phone.
Okay, we'll have to announce the verse number for everybody. Does anybody have a cell phone here? Some people have cell phones? Okay.
Except you, everyone has.
You have a cell phone, okay.
Go on.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Ananda Braja Jana Ranjana
Nandana
कितना सुंदर बना है पापड़ा पिछले साल हो जल्दी
Jamoti Ravana Chari
Nagi
तो खाए थे सब लोग
Vanachari
Jai Radha Madhava Krishna Bihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jai Radha Madhava Krishna Bihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana
Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnugada Prabhu Parivrajak Acharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Bashadi Gaur Bhakti Vrindi ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadip Dham ki jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatadine. Hare Krishna. And this is, does it have the number here? Oh, there it is. See, the reason I asked you about the cell phones is because there's a sign right there. What does it say? No cell phone, sorry. Alright. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 3rd Chapter, 14th Verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Krishna is the source of all incarnations is the title of this chapter. First canto, 3rd chapter. Which verse? 14th, good. All right. We chant it responsively? Is that okay? Okay. Rishibir yachito bheje.
Rishibir yachito bheje.
Rishibir yachito bheje.
Rishibir yachito bheje.
Navamam partivam vapu.
Navamam pativam vapu.
Dugdhe mam oshadhi vipras.
Duddhiman aushadhi vipras.
Tenayam sa ushattama.
Tenayam ta ushattama.
Rishibhir yachito bheje.
Rishibhir yachito beje.
Navamam parthivam vapu.
Navamam pativam vapu.
Dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras.
Duddhimam aushadhi vipras.
Tenayam sa ushuttama.
Tenayam ta ushuttama.
Someone like to chant? Some bold person. Very bold.
ऋषिभिर् यचितो भेजे
Rishibhir yachito beje.
नवमानं परिवर्तं वपु
Navamam parthivam vapu.
दुजे गमन औषधिर्विप्रास
Dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras.
संज्ञां स उत्तामः
Tenayam sa ushattama. Yes.
ऋषिभिर्याचितो बेजे
Rishibhir yachito beje.
नवमां पार्थिवं वपु
Navamam parthivam vapu.
दूतेनाम् ओषधिर्विप्रा
Dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras.
तेनायं स उषातमा
Tenayam sa ushattama.
ऋषिभिर्याचितो बेजे
Rishibhir yachito beje.
नवमं पार्थिवं वपुः
Navamam parthivam vapu.
दुग्धे मामौषधिं विप्रा
Dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras.
तेनायं स उषातमा
Tenayam sa ushattama.
ऋषिभिर्चितो बेजे
Rishibhir yachito beje.
नवमं पार्थिवं वपुः
Navamam parthivam vapu.
दुग्धे मामौषधि विप्रा
Dugdhe mam oshadhir vipras.
तेनायं स
Tenayam
उषातमा
Saushatama Rishibhi. By the sages.
By the sages.
Yachita.
Yachita.
Being prayed for.
Being prayed for.
Bheje.
Beje.
Accepted.
Accepted.
Navamam.
Navamam.
The ninth one.
The ninth one.
Parthivam.
Parthivam.
The ruler of the earth.
The ruler of the earth.
Vapu.
Vapu.
Body.
Body.
Dugdha.
Dugdha.
Milking.
Milking.
Imam.
Imam.
All these.
All these.
Oshadhi.
Aushadhi.
Products of the earth.
Products of the earth.
Vipra.
Vipra.
O Brahmanas.
O Brahmana.
Tina.
Ena.
By.
By.
Ayam. This.
This.
Sha.
Sha.
He.
He.
Ushattama.
Ushattama.
Beautifully attractive.
Beautifully attractive.
O Brahmanas. Okay, you want to do it that way?
Okay.
O Brahmanas.
O Brahmanas.
In the ninth incarnation,
In the ninth incarnation,
the Lord
the Lord
prayed for by the sages,
prayed for by the sages,
accepted the body of King Prithu.
accepted the body of King Prithu,
Prithu is in parentheses there. Who cultivated the land
who cultivated the land
to yield various produces,
to yield various produces,
and for that reason,
and for that reason,
the earth was beautiful
the earth was beautiful
and attractive.
and attractive.
Good. Who was the incarnation?
Prithu.
Prithu, okay. Before the this is purport by Srila Prabhupada. Before the advent of King Prithu, there was great havoc of maladministration due to the vicious life of the previous king, the father of Maharaj Prithu. The intelligent class of men, namely the sages and the Brahmanas, not only prayed for the Lord to come down, but also dethroned the previous king. It is the duty of the king to be pious and thus look after the all-around welfare of the citizens. Whenever there is some negligence on the part of the king in discharging his duty, the intelligent class of men must dethrone him. What do you think about that? What did you get that one? What did you get that? Anybody remember that? Get that? It's the duty of the intelligent class of men to dethrone the king in case they're not doing their duty. Okay. The intelligent class of men, however, do not occupy the royal throne because they have much more important duties for the welfare of the public. Instead of occupying the royal throne, they prayed for the incarnation of the Lord, and the Lord came as Maharaj Prithu. Real intelligent men, or qualified brahmanas, never aspire for political posts. Maharaj Prithu excavated many produces from the earth, and thus not only did the citizens become happy to have such a good king, but the complete site of the earth also became beautiful and attractive. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtan Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming tonight. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Before speaking, I'd like to ask the permission and the blessings for from all devotees, but particularly those who may be more advanced, either by age or advancement in Krishna consciousness. Yeah? Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you. So this chapter is Krishna is the source of all incarnations, and this particular incarnation being described here is the 9th in this list. So many of you are familiar with the Dashavatar Stotra by Jayadev Goswami. Yes? And how many incarnations are there? 10. 10. And here, there's going to be more than 20. So, which is correct? Which is correct? It says 10, and here it was 20 some here in this chapter. How come there's a discrepancy?
They are unlimited incarnations.
We could say it's different categories. That's a good. Yeah, it's a suggestion. But actually, they're all of it limited because they're, as Mukta Sangha Prabhu mentioned just from down here, he's right here. He said, there's unlimited incarnations of Krishna. And so whether you categorize it this way or that way, you can go on and on. There's hundreds and thousands of them. In fact, if you read in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in every day of Brahma, something's going on. Oh, we won't go that far. We'll say in every manu, there are 71 cycles of 4 yugas. What's 71 times 4? Huh? 284 there, okay. And in each yuga, there's a incarnation. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? Paritrana sadhunam vinashaya tu dushkritam dharma sangsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So in each age, at least one, sometimes more than one. Even in like Kali Yuga, there's more than one incarnation in Kali Yuga even. For example, do you know any incarnation in Kali Yuga? Lord Buddha is there, yes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, yes. And there'll be Kalki Avatar at the end of the age. So it's not restricted to only one, but at least one, yes. You have a question? Okay. Yeah. So how many have you heard of Prithu? Or mostly, maybe half. Very interesting background from Prithu Maharaj. He was as you had mentioned, there are different categories of incarnations. Sometimes Krishna appears himself, as in Lord Krishna appearing in Dvapara Yuga, the full, with all of his potencies. And Lord Chaitanya also is Krishna himself, although he appeared in the garb and the mood and the color of a devotee. So he was a little bit hidden, covered. Sometimes Krishna incarnates not himself, but he incarnates as an expansion. So they're still in the Vishnu Tattva category, but they're not the original Krishna. Do you follow? This is something that Lord Chaitanya, you won't find this explained in the Bhagavad Gita, but it's explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is called the science of God. So, just like in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma said sometimes if you take one candle, and it's got a certain candle power, do people use candles anymore? Yeah, sure. And you light another candle from that first candle, and you add another candle from that candle, all those candles could have the same lighting power. But still there's the original candle. Do you follow? So similarly, Lord Krishna can expand himself into different Vishnu Tattva or forms, although he's still the original. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So he expands himself as Lord Ramchandra, as Lord Nrsimha, as Lord Varaha. They're not the original personality of Godhead, but they're expansions, and they have the potency of the original personality of Godhead. Yes. And then there's another category of incarnations, which is very interesting. They're living entities like you and me. We're not, and we can never be on the equal to God. We're called Jiva Tattva, whereas Krishna is called, and his expansions are called Vishnu Tattva. So the Jiva Tattva is always a small, tiny, fragmental part of God, just like a spark comes from the fire. It's got the quality of the fire, but it's not equal to the whole fire. But that spark sometimes is empowered with the potency of God. He's not God, or she's not God, but they have special potency. That's called a certain kind of avatar called Shakti Avesh. Shakti Avesh. It means Shakti means power, and Avesh, empowered incarnation. So Prithu Maharaj was an empowered incarnation. He was not Vishnu Tattva or a direct expansion of Krishna. He was a living entity who was given the potency of God by Krishna himself. Do you follow? Shakti Avesh and others. Yeah. So, and Prithu Maharaj, he was born in the family of a very important and famous king, you might know, in the dynasty of a famous king. Any remembrances of this? That was recent, but the real famous king, I know all of you know this king's name. His name is Dhruva Maharaj. Yeah, everybody knows Dhruva Maharaj, very famous king. So he was in the descent and the lineage of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had a number of sons. His oldest son was named Utkala, but he never became king. You know why? Because he was completely fixed in Krishna consciousness, so much so that people thought he was a dumb person. He didn't want to have anything to do with the material world, and he was just simply fixed in meditation all the time on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So people said, no, he can't be king. So then one of the younger sons became king, and there was about 4 generations. And then after 4 generations, there was a king by the name of Chakshusha, and Chakshusha became a Manu. We're now in the dynasty of Vaivaswata Manu, who's the 7th Manu, and before this Manu, Chakshusha Manu was there. After Chakshusha Manu, there was the devastation where the world became inundated with water, and Matsya came. So Chakshusha Manu, and Chakshusha Manu, that he had his son, and then that son, the 2nd generation after Chakshusha Manu, was a king named Anga. Anga Maharaj. This is, as you said, Anga, Maharaj Anga. And Anga Maharaj was a very elevated devotee. Although probably, I don't know if many of you have heard of Anga Maharaj. He's a very elevated devotee. And by some arrangement, he married a wife who was, her name was Sunita. And she was the daughter of Adharma, which Srila Prabhupada translates as death personified. Okay? How did that happen? It's not explained, I don't know, but it happened. Was it arranged marriage or love marriage? I don't know. But it happened. So he married, and things were going on okay. But as a king, he wanted to, and especially in those days, this wasn't in Kali Yuga, but it was before Kali Yuga, the kings would always arrange sacrifices for the pleasure of Krishna, Vishnu, and his devotees. So he was performing sacrifices for the benefit of the Lord and the world, but they weren't successful. The priests of the sacrifice told him, we're chanting all the mantras properly, but the ahutis aren't going to the destination. They're not going to the Lord, or they're not going to the demigods. They're not accepting usually you say, please accept my obeisances. If I say, no, I'm not accepting. Does that ever happen? So you're giving the offering, they're giving the offering, the ahutis, but somehow the priests that they're not being accepted. So this is a big problem. So he asked the sages, the priests, to investigate, and they did their research. They checked his horoscope, and they said, we found the reason your sacrifices aren't being successful. Well, what was the reason? Said, because in your last life, you had performed some sinful activities. And as a result of that, in this life, you don't have a son. And therefore, your sacrifice isn't going properly. So they said, what should I do? What should I do? Well, they said, why don't you perform a sacrifice that we'll help you. We'll help you perform a sacrifice so that you can have a son. So he said, okay, all right. So the priests and the Brahmins, the sages, they did a sacrifice, and out of the fire came a very elevated personality, and in their hand they had a pot of kheer. You've heard this happens in sacrifices. They bring kheer from the heavenly planets or someplace. And this kheer he gave to his wife. And who was his wife? The daughter of? Adharma. Yeah. So she took the sacrifice, the kheer from the sacrifice, and she became pregnant. And the son who was born was named Vena. And this is very interesting, because Vena, he became a terror. He would reject all kinds of instruction by his father, and he even used to murder animals. He would go to the forest and kill animals. This is one of the symptoms of kids who are having big problems, is they kill animals when they're young, very young. I mean, little. They like to kill animals. And not only that, but he was attacking and even murdering his playmates. So, can you imagine? Even as a young kid. So, and it wasn't like with Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. What happened when Duryodhana tried to kill people? Remember? Dhritarashtra didn't do a thing, right? He didn't scold him or anything. But Anga, he was vigilant. He punished his son, and he tried to rectify him, but his son would not do a thing. He wouldn't get rectified. So it became so troublesome for Anga that at a certain point, obviously the son was getting a little bit of backing from his mom. Anyway, so it became such that Anga Maharaj left and took sannyas, he renounced the kingdom and went to the forest. Now this is unusual, isn't it? Because he's doing a sacrifice, and it's supposed to be a religious thing, and he's getting this sweet rice, and then he's giving it to his wife, and then he gets, the child becomes like a demon. What's going on here? This all seems like religious activity, right? What do you make of that? You following my question? What do you make of that? Huh? He was a devotee too. He was a devotee. He wasn't just a fly-by-night. He was a devotee. But still this happened to him. Usually you say that Krishna protects his devotees, isn't it? So what's the lesson here?
Is it on the same lines of that Krishna Bhagwan, whoever Krishna Bhagwan loves the most takes away from him?
Yes, yeah. Sometimes for his devotee, he'll put him in a situation, or him or her in a situation, where things get really, really troublesome, so that they can give up their attachments and make very rapid progress. So that's what happened with Anga Maharaj. He was a devotee, but his attachment to the kingdom and the family got cut by his disturbance over his son's misbehavior. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Usually you don't find it this way. When you find, who are some examples of individuals who were born from the payas or the sweet rice of sacrifice? Any ideas? Lord Ramchandra, yeah, there was a sacrifice of that. Yeah. Parshuram also, many there, but they were on the other side. But this one was, so this is a very unusual. Hare Krishna. So, Vena Mahaso, Anga Maharaj left, and as a result, there was no king. And what happened when there's no king, there's no government officers, the criminal element in society becomes unrestricted, isn't it? So usually when there's a lot of crime, then they say, well, let's hire more policemen. Yeah. So there's no king, so the thieves and rogues became not only outside the government but inside the government. The thieves and rogues became prominent. And the sages who were involved with this sacrifice from the beginning, it's our responsibility to do something. Listen to this. So they decided, they talked among themselves. They didn't just make up their mind. They had a conference, all the sages and Brahmins. And they decided, well, we know that Anga's not the greatest, Vena's not the greatest guy. But it's really kind of an emergency. So let's install him as the king. And the ministers, Anga's ministers who were still around, they said, nah, don't do that. But the Brahmin said, yeah, let's do it. This is very interesting, isn't it? So in this case, the Brahmins seemed like they made a mistake. You follow? It seems that way, yeah. Are there any other instances when something like that might have happened? What about, I'm testing you, okay?
That happened in Surat, in a temple.
Oh, okay, in a temple.
The GBC appointed one person as a president, and then it became a headache for GBC to remove him because he was challenging GBC outside.
Yes. So in our time it happens a lot more. But in the Vedic times maybe it happened a little less. But there was one time it was very pronounced that there was a person who got elected to the Vyasa-san by the sages, and he turned out to be a competitor and thinking he was better than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ramaharshan, yeah. So that was another instance where the Brahmins, they put somebody in charge, but usually it's a good thing, but not, in this case it wasn't. So anyway, the Brahmins, they put the king there, and immediately as he got his position as a king, he stopped all performance of sacrifice. No sacrifice. And as a result, the citizens became more like animals because they're not performing in their religious duties. The purpose of our human life is to make progress to go back to Godhead through performance of sacrifice. In various ages, there's different kinds of sacrifice. But because he stopped the sacrifice, the citizens were making progress. Then, and he would, anybody who was his perceived enemy, he would immediately kill them or throw them in jail or prosecute them in some way. Anybody who he even perceived was his enemy. This kind of things happens in the world. You know that, even today. So yeah, and he would go out to the different, and he would establish himself as the ruler. And the Brahmins, shortly after seeing this, they could appreciate. But one thing was good: the thieves and rogues and criminals became afraid that if they get caught by him, they'll be punished. So the crime went down, but still the real purpose of life was being misled, was not being supported. So the Brahmins again, they talked among themselves, and you know what they decided? What's that? No, they didn't. Not yet. They said, let's go and have a conversation. Let's go and talk with him. We'll try to talk some sense into this. So they went to talk to him, the Brahmins, and they said, if you don't allow the people and then do encourage them to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you're going to be responsible for their degradation and their karmic activities. That means you're going to be suffering in the future. It's interesting. The king will suffer or enjoy the results of the citizens' activity. So they explained to that. He said, and so Vena Maharaj, he responded, actually, you people are talking nonsense. I'm the king, and I am Naradeva. Naradeva means I'm the representative of God. So the best way that people can become spiritually elevated is to worship me. You people are just like children. Hare Krishna. He said like this, etc., etc., etc. So at that point, the Brahmins, they again talked among themselves, and they decided, okay, that's it. That's when they decided to remove him. How did they remove him?
They cursed him to death.
Yeah, they chanted a mantra. Finished. So we read in the purport that it's the business of the intelligent class to remove the king if he's not doing his duty. You remember that in the purport? And I said, remember this? Yeah. So what about now? Is it your duty? You're intelligent people. Yes. Je bhaje she boro. You're most intelligent. So is it your job to remove the king? It is Kali Yuga, that's right. So Srila Prabhupada specifically comments in the purport. He says, in Kali Yuga, you're not going to be able to remove the king by this cursed method. But the way you have to address the problem is chanting the holy names. Harinam Sankirtan, yeah. Kali Kali Namarupe Krishnavata, yeah. But because nowadays, even just a couple of weeks ago, wasn't there No King's Day? Did you go to No King's Day? You didn't go? I had nothing to go against No King's Day. Actually, I wanted to go and chant Hare Krishna in the No King's Day. I tried to get devotees to come, but nobody wanted to come. They said, that's political. Yeah, it's political, but I'm not political. How can you change people's consciousness by them hearing the holy names, and that by changing their consciousness, then things can improve. Lord Chaitanya, when he was in Mayapur, who was the king? Nawab Hussain Shah. Nawab Hussain Shah in Navadvip, yeah, but in Puri, he went to Puri later, and that was Pratap. But and how he didn't go, and he's Krishna. He could have used his chakra and killed the king, but he didn't. He chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Even Lord Chaitanya, he didn't have a good administrator above him, but he chanted Hare Krishna, and that was effective for many people. So I'm not going to advise you today to try to kill the king or the president. Anyway, I'd probably be in jail shortly anyway. But this is a very, very interesting thing. So they were effective in killing the king by their mantra, and then shortly after they killed the king, what happened? It went back to the same situation. There's no king, so the criminals started to be powerful. And so they had one side no king, and the other side the criminals are going, it's a big problem. So the sages, again, they knew it was their responsibility. It was their responsibility to improve the situation. So they decided what had happened when Vena was killed by this mantra. His mom, whose mom was the daughter of death personified, she had his body put in suspended animation. You ever heard of cryotherapy? What is cryotherapy?
Freeze.
Yeah, you freeze them. Well, it wasn't that exactly, but she had a system of mummifying and preserving the body with herbs and oils and things like that. So she kept Vena's body. So then the brahmanas and the sages, they talked among themselves and said, okay, well, let's take his body, and they're going to, just like in this verse, they prayed to the Supreme Lord and the demigods, you please help us. So they cloned the body of Vena. They what are the processes? I can't tell you exactly. I can't tell you exactly how it happened. But anyway, they said that they churned his thighs, and out came a kind of midget guy who was short arms, flat nose, a big chin, and he was the personification of Vena Maharaja's lower qualities. And they said, the Brahmin said, okay, nice you're coming, please go to the forest, because if you come in society you'll cause trouble. He said, okay. They went to the forest. And then they churned his upper portion of the body with their prayers, and Prithu Maharaj appeared. And Prithu Maharaj was like I said, the Shakti Avesh avatar of Lord Krishna. And he was empowered with the ability to rule over the citizens very regally and fairly. That was his special ability. So in Vedic literature, sometimes Prithu Maharaj is called the first emperor of the world. It's very interesting. The first emperor of the world. And then similarly from another being came from that churning, and that was Archi, who was a partial incarnation of the goddess of fortune who comes along with Vishnu. So, and they were going to be married. They became married. So this is a little different than sometimes happens with incarnations. You don't usually see this kind of churning thing happen, does it? And we didn't see so much of the Supreme Lord. Usually he comes like, who killed Ravan? Ramchandra. Who killed Hiranyakashipu? Vishnugada. But who killed Vena? It was the Brahmanas, it wasn't the incarnation. So it's a little different. You see, there's a contrast. So it's not always the same old thing, right? You follow? Yeah. So Prithu Maharaj appeared, And as soon as he appeared, people were rejoicing because they could, just by seeing him, they could understand this is kind of a wonderful personality. So then some of the demigods came and they looked him over. The first demigod who came was named Lord Brahma. You know Brahma? He came and he read his palm. Does anybody do palm reading? You like palm reading? No? You don't like it? Oh, okay. Anyway, he read his palm and he said, oh, he has the symbols of the Supreme Personality of God, and this is an incarnation of God. He said, Lord Brahma said, yeah. And then the various demigods offered him gifts. Varuna, the Lord of the seas, gave him an umbrella that shone like the moon and sprinkled cool mist on his body. Isn't it very interesting? Yeah. Indra gave him a jeweled helmet. Lord Brahma gave him a armor with transcendental mantras. And you know, there's different planetary systems. Om, Bhur, Bhuva, Shva. So Bhuvar is the next higher planetary system. So the Lord of the Bhuvar planetary system, he's not mentioned in the verse, but he gave him a pair of slippers. Is anybody familiar with the Wizard of Oz? You know about the Wizard of Oz? You know about the Wizard of Oz? Anyway, so what happens in the Wizard of Oz is it's not a true story, by the way. There's a girl by the name of Dorothy in Kansas, and in Kansas there's lots of tornadoes. So she's in her house, and she's being raised by her grandparents, and a tornado comes and whoosh, tears the house out of its moorings, and it takes the house somewhere distant and crashes down to the surface of the whatever it is, and when it comes down, it crashes on a wicked witch, isn't it? And somehow she comes out, and there's another. The wicked witch has its legs just outside the crashed house, and on the legs there's 2 slippers, isn't it? And she takes those slippers and puts them on, and what happens? Huh? They're magic, right? They're magic. She can just doing anything. She can go in everywhere she wants, right? Isn't it? So actually, these slippers, they got the idea from Srimad Bhagavatam, because the slippers given by the Lord of Bhuvarlok were that they had 8 mystic perfections, and all Prithu Maharaj had to do was to call on the slippers, and then he could do whatever he wanted. So these were the kind of things that were given, many, many gifts. And then some professional singers came, and they began to chant his glories. They sing, you're wonderful in this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. And then Prithu Maharaj said, stop, you can't chant my glories. You're telling me what I'm great, but I haven't done anything yet. I shouldn't accept glories unless I do something actually wonderful. First I have to do something, then you can chant my glories, but not yet. This is important. So usually, someone who's in a position of power, they like to hear their glories all the time, isn't it? Yeah. But Prithu Maharaj wasn't into that, at least not yet. Yeah, he wasn't into that. And then some of the citizens, they came to him and said, there's not enough grains and food. We're starving. What's going on? So Prithu Maharaj, he called on the earth. Please, you got to give some more grains. But the earth didn't respond. So he took his sword and in the bow and arrow, not bow, sword, bow and arrow, and went after the earth. The earth took the form of a cow. You know why the earth took the form of a cow? Because cows are not supposed to be killed isn't it? Yeah. So Prithu Maharaj, he caught the cow. First she was trying to run away in the form of a cow. According to the Srimad Bhagavatham, the earth can take many forms, but at this time she took the form of a cow. And finally he caught the cow, and she said, "Okay, please, don't kill me." But actually, the only reason I'm withholding the grains and withholding the fruits and seeds and stuff is because the people on the earth have been not doing the sacrifice. So I'm supposed to withhold it. So then, you know what he did? He consulted brahmanas. Anytime, there's a saying by Chanakya Pandit, trees on the bank of a river, a young woman in another man's house, and a king without counselors goes without doubt to swift destruction. You follow? Trees on the bank of a river. What happens to trees on the bank of a river? Yeah, the erosion happens, and a young woman in another man's house and a king without counselors goes without doubt to swift destruction. So he got advice not only from the Brahmins, but because he was interested in advice, he wasn't shut off. He didn't think he knew everything. The four Kumaras, who were incarnations of the intelligence and the knowledge of God, they came and they gave him elaborate instructions about how to rule the world. And it was, the whole world became like Vaikuntha, practically speaking, because of his following the order and the instructions of the learned great sages. And so he's glorified even today in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we're doing that today also. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Maharaj Pritu Ki Jai.
Yeah.
Is it right? Is it time?
Yeah. We'll have some question answer session.
Sure.
So anybody has any questions or want to share your reflections, please go ahead. No one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for lecture, Prabhu. Wonderful lecture. I was late here, but I was listening online, and you were mentioning we cannot be God. We cannot become God. God is God. Before joining in ISKCON, I was in a Ramakrishna mission for a few months, and like we have a congregational devotees, they stay outside and they practice. So they have also system. So girhastas and other people, those who cannot be full-time, they stay outside in a house and they practice. So I was practicing. And we all devotees are very, very lucky that we are in the movement of Srila Prabhupada. Since Srila Prabhupada appeared in this world, many millions and billions of people, they are saved from this conception that we cannot be God. Cannot become God. It's all because of Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, before Srila Prabhupada, everywhere people, normal human beings, they used to think, we can become God, we are God. Still, many people, they think. So, there is one famous sadhu in Vrindavan, very famous. And I used to listen to him, but 2-3 times I heard people, they ask him questions. And just recently, almost 3-4 months ago, I heard this thing. He says, Kali is Krishna.
What?
Kali. Goddess Kali is Krishna. And then I didn't hear him almost 3-4 months. And then again, after 3-4 months, just few days ago I was hearing, and one person asked, Shiva. He was discussing about Lord Shiva. And then he said, Shiva is Krishna. I was thinking, is it aparadh to listen to him? Or maybe the person who is asking, he is not on that level, like this sadhu. That's why just he said that Shiva is Krishna. But yeah, Shiva is Krishna, but person has to explain nicely. In Srimad Bhagavatham it said milk and yogurt. It's the same thing, but yogurt is yogurt, milk is milk. So similarly, Lord Shiva is Mahavaishnava. 80% I think Krishna, right?
85%.
85%. So, but not 100% is Krishna. So I was thinking, I'm asking you, is it okay to hear such person or no?
Well, you know Lord Chaitanya's philosophy.
Yeah.
Achintya Bhed, Abhed Tattva. Bhed means different and Abhed means not different. So as you already pointed out, what is the person's final conclusion? If their final conclusion is that Lord Shiva or Durga, they're actually the same as Krishna, then we can't listen. Lord Chaitanya recommended don't hear them. Don't hear them. Mayavadi, because that's Mayavadi philosophy. Mayavadi philosophy means it's not to Krishna that we're interested in surrendering, but it's to the impersonal energy in Krishna, and that same impersonal energy is there within Durga, within Shiva, within Kali, within every. So, if that is their final conclusion, then it's a danger to listen to that.
Another time, another person was asking something, and then he said, if I'm meditating about Krishna, about Bhagwan, and if you go on meditating again and more and more, one time will come. There's no difference. You are same. You and God is same. Atma is what? Atma is God only.
Yeah. So they're coming up with their own philosophy. Many people come up with their own philosophy, even in the name of Bhagavad Gita, in the name of Srimad Bhagavatam. Different people, they come up with a philosophy that's different from Bhagavad Gita. What does Bhagavad Gita say? Yepi anya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhayanvita tepi mam eva kontaya yajanti avidipurvakam. That somebody who's worshipping may worship other gods even with great faith, but they're actually that service and that worship is meant for me, but it's given avidi. Avidi means improperly. Avidipurvakam. And then he says, Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitrvrata bhutani yanti bhuteja madbhaktim yajanopi mam. If you worship the different demigods, you'll go to the demigods. Other people will say, the way you see this understanding is, they'll say, we're bhakti, but you can have bhakti to anybody. You can have bhakti to Krishna, you can have bhakti to Shiva, you can have bhakti to Durga, you can have bhakti to Ganesh, everybody. And just so you have bhakti. No, bhakti is for Krishna. It's Krishna. And you can worship those other various demigods, but you can't. But that means you'll go to their demigods, and that's within this material world. If you want to become free from this material world, you got to worship Krishna. And it's not that we give respect to the demigods because they're part of Lord Krishna's government. So we respect them, but we don't worship them regularly, as generally. So. Anyway, you know this. You just do it, yes. Hare Krishna. It's actually one of the second offense to chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is to consider the names of demigods, even big demigods like Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So even within people who are associated with this kind, they will chant sometimes. Lately I've heard Om Namo Shivaya. You know that? In kirtans. But Srila Prabhupada never did that and never instructed us to do that. Because he wanted us to focus. Mam Ekam Sharanam, Mam Ekam. Krishna says, only me, only me. He went through this whole pastime of Govardhan Hill to demonstrate that he didn't want his devotees to do anything. They could have said, Lord Krishna said, okay, well, keep a worship of Indra and also keep a worship of Krishna. He could have said that, maybe everybody has everybody, but he didn't do that. He said, no, don't worship Indra, don't do Indra Puja, and just do worship of Govardhan Hill, and then on Govardhan Hill, he incarnated as Govardhan Hill to accept the worship. So that's how we're understanding it from Srimad Bhagavatam and from Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu.
I just think, Prabhu, he's followed by millions of people.
Yeah. A lot of people, yeah, a lot of people. That's called, it's now there's a lot of people following this. There was a person named, anybody ever heard of Guru Maharaj Ji? Nobody's ever heard of him now. In the 1970s, Guru Maharaj Ji was like the hottest thing in the world. You know, they have the Astrodome. There's an Astrodome in Houston, and they have 100,000 seats. And he went there to give a lecture, and it was standing room only. There was over 100,000 people to listen to him speak. And what was his message? Same. You're God, and Krishna and Vishnu, it doesn't matter. Krishna, Vishnu, Durga, Shiva, the same. Now, nobody's heard of him at all. Nobody's even. So, people sometimes, Srila Prabhupada, or it's compared in the Srimad Bhagavatam to, sometimes there's glowworms, or you call them lightning bugs. You know lightning bugs? But we're looking for the sun or the moon. Krishna sun, Chaitanya is like the moon. Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I'll tell one thing. Even some of our Guru Maharaj and Sannyasi are visiting to him.
Yeah, I asked about that. I know I asked about that. And what I heard was that he gave some donation, and so they were just going to thank him, not because they're taking. That's what I heard. I'm telling you, that's what I heard. So not that they're taking instruction, but you respect even an ant. You respect even, anybody, but not that you follow their philosophy. I know.
Prabhu, I know who he's talking about.
Probably.
On one hand, he talks about devotion. No, I won't read this.
Yeah. He talks about devotion, yeah.
He talks about devotion, he talks about Radharani, he talks about everything that's devotional. But then I make sure that I don't listen to the philosophy. Because we can hear the stories, if they say, but the philosophical part I choose to keep away, because then I'll end up getting confused because I'm not so elevated.
Yeah.
So that's my...
Yes. Good policy to stay away from the philosophy, yeah.
I listen to the stories, all nice stories, I listen.
Sometimes in the stories you get stuff mixed in, then you have to be careful too. You get stuff, the impersonal feature gets mixed in. I'll give an example. So, and this is of course a little controversial. You don't mind controversy here, I know you're in Bensalem. So, thank you. Some devotees read the Ramcharitamanas. You know Ramcharitamanas. And in the Ramcharitamanas, Srila Prabhupada commented on that Tulsidas was a great devotee, but it's mixed in with some impersonal touch. There's some Mayavadi touch. So whenever he was asked about it, he acknowledged it, but he said, better read Srimad Bhagavatam, better read Bhagavad Gita, better read Chaitanya Charitamrita. He didn't. So then you'll find in the Valmiki Ramayana, there's certain things that happen, and the Ramcharitamanas. What happens in Ramcharitamanas is practically every time you turn around, Lord Ramchandra is offering puja or sacrifice or offering worship to Lord Shiva, always. And there's nothing wrong with him offering worship to Lord Shiva, just like Lord Krishna worshipped Sudama Brahman. It's his devotee, right? Doesn't make Sudama Brahman God, but by seeing that regularly, people get to misunderstand. They misunderstand that Shiva's actually this, or Shiva's the same as Krishna, or he's this. So Srila Prabhupada recommended to stay away because it's better if you're going to read Valmiki Ramayana. That's better because it's the original authoritative, like that. That's example.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one more thing. I had asked the same question to someone from our preachers.
Yes.
And he also had given the example of this Ramcharitmanas and Tulsidas. And he told me one thing which he found out from his senior, that sometimes these people who we think that they are saying like on two sides, it's because sometimes it's like a clickbait, like how you have a clickbait on YouTube. They put something, so they are probably doing this to attract these Mayavadis and finally lead them to devotion. So
hopefully that's the case. That would be very nice, but how do you know?
Yeah, but that's what the answer I got, that it could be that. So the answer I got was offer your respects. That's it. Ours is a culture of respect. You just offer them respect and leave.
Yes. So, yes. So, and our preaching, Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON, we accept him as the example of how to preach and how we do things. So generally speaking, we do things the way he did it. And so he preached in a certain way. He didn't preach in that way. And he was very successful. How did so successful that the Hare Krishna movement spread around the world in less than 10 years? It had millions of followers in a short time. So to think we can improve on that is a little bit concerning.
Thank you, Babaji. Dandavat pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Uh-oh.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Nice to see you long time, and it's a very wonderful lecture today. I hear that. But I mark it's a very nice thing. Whatever you say, the higher planet give this like Prithvi Maharaj have the sleeper, and you said that this one is come. Like the one story you told us, this like
Wizard of Oz.
Bhagavatham. Yeah, exactly, Prabhu, is true. I saw that one drama today. Like this from the Bangladesh, but the Bangladesh has all Muslim people, especially.
Yes.
It might be now is 5 or 6% Hindus, but they are trying to kill us everything.
Sure.
But this drama says, but they never believe this. All of them, they are all thinking like Krishna, Shiva, and everything is same. But also they're thinking Krishna is the messenger of God.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're like thinking like that. It's like as equal as Muhammad, like this.
Yes.
But they don't understand that Krishna is the supreme personality.
Yes.
It's okay because their knowledge is like that. It's fine. The thing is, I hear this that today's one sentence in the drama. They say like the material world is covered by Maya. This is completely in our Srimad Bhagavatham and Chaitanya Charitamrita. From this, he just made from this one, but he doesn't know. But he already told like this. That's why I'm thinking, whatever is come from everything is knowledge, is all our scripture from Krishna. This is the thing, but people doesn't understand.
It's interesting to know. I mean, my godbrother, thank you. My godbrother Satyaraj, he did a lot of research in Islam, and according to him, apparently, early on in the, after Muhammad, there were two branches of Islam. And one branch of Islam was personal. There's God as a person, he has a form, and you like that. But the other branch of Islam was that you can't have any form of God. So, but with the personal form, that branch died out after a couple hundred years. But there's quite a bit of writings, old writings about that. So yeah, all the scriptures, even Quran and the Bible, they're really the scriptures for a particular time and place, and you can find Krishna conscious stuff there, but just over the course of time, other things become prevalent and they kind of overshadow it, unfortunately. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So there are some online devotees. Is that okay?
Oh, what, for questions?
For questions if they have
Hare
any.
Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Vani Seva here. Thank you so much for your lecture. We learned so much from you. All the things that you do for us. Thank you. I don't have any questions from you, but I wanted to listen to the things that you said, and it is very interesting. In this Kali Yuga, whatever things may be happening, we just have to keep chanting, believe in Krishna, one God and one Guru. So that will unify everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Shankaracharya said that. He said this just as you said. Ekam Shastram. You know this? Ekam Shastram, Devika Putra Gita, Eko Devo, Devaki Putra Deva, Eko Mantras, Tasya Namami Jani, Karma Pyekam, the last line? Devaki Putra Seva. Yeah. So there's one Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, one God, Krishna, one name to chant, Krishna, and one thing to do, worship, serve Krishna. Yeah.
Yes, one Guru, our Srila Prabhupada. Nobody could have done anything in this world. Without him, we will all be lost. We should be all grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And I'm very grateful that I'm here. And I'm still, living and listening. And thank you so much for coming and helping us to learn more. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Appreciate that.
Hare Krishna, Mother Vani Seva. Haribol. Thank you.
Anybody else? Final?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It was nice to hear after so many days by Vishnugada Prabhu in our center.
Oh, Sajanya. Oh, okay. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Nice to hear from you. Okay.
So thank you very much. Again, big round of applause to Prabhu. Wonderful. So, on behalf of our Bensalem Cultural Center, I would humbly request you to please grace this center often going forward, if possible.
Saturday is a little tough because there's people, everybody has their programs on Saturday now. Yeah.
Right. My request to him is at least once in a month. So that is possible. Thank you. So now we have sloka recitation from kids, and after that, Srila Prabhupada quote for a week.
Fulam Tesha Tadbhavati Atmamedasham Devan Deva Yado Yanti Madhvakta Yanti Mamapi. Men with small intelligence worship the demigods. Their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods will go to the land of the demigods, but my devotees who worship me will ultimately reach my supreme presence.
Antavatu phalam tesam tadbhavati alpamedasam devan devaya joyanti mam bhaktya alpamedasam abhimamapi. The men of small intelligence worship the demigods. And their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planet of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately go to me.
Antavantu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam devan deva yanti madhvakta yanti mamapi. Translation. Men with small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods will go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees will ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Antavatu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasham devan deva yajo yanti madhvakta yanti mamapi.
Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedhasham devan devajya joyanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Translation. Men with small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the demigods' planet, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Thank you.
Men with small intelligence worship the demigods, whose fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods will go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme.
Anybody else? Kids? Wonderful. It's a big round of applause to kids. So thank you Prakasha Madaji for taking care of Saturday school because Saturday school teacher is absent today. So we'll recite Srila Prabhupada's quotes for the entire week. Prakasha, what you want to do? Come. Come quick. Quick.
One of the symptoms of a devotee is that he is kind. If our godbrother becomes ill, it is our duty to help him get the proper medicine and treatment so that he can recover. There is no question of ill-treating of our own godbrothers simply because they are sick, nor should you allow such neglect to go on. So long we have this material body, there will be sickness, but we have to remain on the transcendental platform nevertheless.
And the date?
April 6th. A good citizen knows what is lawful work and what is unlawful work. You can hide yourself from the eyes of the police, man-made law, but it is not possible to hide yourself from the eyes of the Supreme because the Supreme is sitting within your heart. April 7th. When I eat meat, Mamsa it means, this animal will also eat me again. You cannot escape this. Life for life. That is the law everywhere. If you have murdered somebody, you must be killed also. You can escape the so-called state laws, but you cannot escape the laws of the material nature. April 8th. According to Sastra, anyone who wears silak, sika, and kunti over and above the Vaishnava dress or Vaishnava sannyas must be accepted, especially while chanting Hare Krishna mantra with beadbacks. When Jagannatha has expanded his jurisdiction over the whole world, why the so-called servants of Jagannath should not allow them to see the Lord of the universe. April 9th. I can only suggest and wherever possible that can be applied, but I do not force anyone. After all, you are working hard to please Krishna only out of love for me, so there can be no question of force if love is there. We should not ever try to force anyone or reduce our society to an impersonal business exchange. This will kill everything. Our only purpose in every endeavor is simply to make advancement in spiritual life or in pleasing Krishna. April 10th. Hearing the vibration of Hare Krishna automatically reminds one of Krishna's pastimes. Both of them arise simultaneously in the mind when one is sincerely chanting. You cannot make any distinction between listening to the sound and thinking of the pastimes. But the process is to hear, and then Krishna's pastimes, form, qualities, etc. will automatically come to mind. That is very nice. April 11th. If they insist on touching your feet and there is no other way to avoid it, can simply remember your predecessor acharyas and spiritual masters and accept them and return namaskar with folded hands. That is the Vaishnava etiquette.
Divine Grace Stacy Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So please, my humble request is don't skip these quotes. Every day, Rajesh Govind Prabhu is sending to our WhatsApp group. It has very deep meaning. So meditate on that, whatever Srila Prabhupada says. So thank you. And finally, I have a couple of announcements. So next week, we won't be having a program here. As you all already got the flyer. So it's going to be at Vanit Prabhu's place and Shika Mataji's place. Okay, it's a very special occasion. It is first anniversary of their deities. Prabhuji's name, sorry, I forgot the deity name. Nitai Nadia Chandra ki Jai. So it is their first anniversary. So please come. The program starts at 5 p.m. and with, of course, Kirtan and Abhishek and finally Prasadam. So please don't miss this opportunity. It's next Saturday. Mark your calendar. Program is not going to be here. It's going to be at their place. And so who attended this Mother Devaki Mataji's program here? So many of you, okay? And many of you have sponsored for her books also, which you haven't got because of shortage that day. So today the books are available, so you can contact Mahaprema Vesh Prabhu, he's there. So those who have not got the book, you can take it. And April 30th, what is special April 30th? Nursing Day. So that falls on Thursday, right? Correct? Okay, Thursday. So definitely there is going to be a big program at ISKCON Philadelphia. But on the next Saturday, so we are planning to have here. Now, of course, if you all agree, we can have a short drama also. Many people are expecting that. So we'll do that. Yeah, okay? With that? Because we are very short of time now. It's only 2 weeks left, 2-3 weeks. So on May 2nd, Saturday, so we are going to have Nrsimha Chaturdashi here. Okay? So thank you very much again. So we'll have Prasadam prayers now. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Kalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Naiva Jayate Sharira Vidyajal Jarendriya Tahekal Jiva Fele Vishesagare Aramati Jivahati Loho Mai Sudurmati Take Jata Katina Samsare Krishna Barodaya Mai Koribara Jivajai Swaprasada Nadilobai Yanamrita Pao Ti Radha Krishna Gunagao Premeda Ko Chaitanya Nitai Jai Nimai Jai Nitai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Krishna Mahaprasadam ki Srila Prabhupada ki Thank you very, very much. Thank you, online devotees. Hari Bol.